Mr. Ingram's shadow. Following around Mr. Ingram like a puppy was not what Devon had in mind when it came to her job description. She had enjoyed the role she had prior to meeting him. She ran around from theater to theater. She met lots of people and helped out where she could. She read some scripts from the reject pile and even got to watch costumes being made. Now that she had met Mr. Ingram, she couldn't do any of that. Despite their earlier conversation about her doing what she was already doing, Christine Ingram saw to it that Devon was everywhere. Everywhere that Mr. Ingram was, whether or not either of them enjoyed it. He didn't ask her to get his coffee, but he regarded her with a level of disdain or quiet disconnectedness that made her feel uneasy. "So, how's it going so far?" Kira asked Devon point blank from her spot on the living room floor. Devon hadn't expected to rekindle a friendship with Kira and Beth, but moving in with Christian had proved that she should always expect the unexpected. Devon took her time considering an answer by unpacking the Chinese food they had ordered. She'd been working for Mr. Ingram for nearly 2 months, and her salary just about began to cover takeout once a month, maybe twice if she really stretched it. "It's been okay. It's kind of boring. I'm not sure I'm learning anything." She laid out the dumplings, General Chow's chicken, and lo mein, careful not to spill any of the sauces on the coffee table or the carpet. "It seems like great exposure," Beth said from her spot on the opposite end of the couch. "Plus, I'm not really sure what you do, but being near the vicinity of Broadway does sound cool." "It can be, for sure." Devon stood up to grab napkins and plates, handing them to Kira before returning to the kitchen to grab the wine. "It's definitely interesting, but I don't know. There's something up with my boss and his wife. He is always kind of surprised I show up each day, like he doesn't expect me to be there for some reason. But his wife, Christine, always emails me the night before telling me where to be and what to do. I'm not sure how they don't talk to each other, though. It's all very cloak and dagger." That is weird. Do you think they're separated?" Beth eked out between bites of lo mein. "Not sure, to be honest," but Mr. Devon's voice got cut off by Christian's own greeting. She hadn't heard the front door open, but his telltale "hey there" caught her off guard and made her heart skip a beat all at once. "Chris, hey!" Kira stood up to give him a hug, and Beth followed. "Hey guys, what's going on? Bit of a girls' night, Chinese food and chill?" "Yep, and wine. Don't forget the wine." Beth gestured to Devon standing in the kitchen, holding the bottle and the opener. "Come and join us. We haven't seen you in forever." "Sure, I've got an hour before meeting the guys for basketball." Devon watched as he interacted with Kira and Beth. She'd gotten so used to this apartment being filled with the briefest moments of interaction between them that watching Christian be a full-blown functional human being with other people stirred something up in her she couldn't quite put her finger on. Christian turned around to her and took the bottle out of her hand as though they had done this 100 times before. He put his palm out for the opener, a gesture less like a demand and more one of caring. "You guys sit down. I've got this." He moved slowly past Devon towards the kitchen counter, and the part of her shoulder where they had brushed tingled lightly. The girls retook their seats, and from Devon's point of view from the couch, she could just make out Christian's bicep as it pulled the cork from the bottle. She tried to ignore the flash of skin that showed when he reached to the highest shelf for the glasses. She drew her attention back to the living room, making the briefest of eye contact with Kira, who smiled back at her knowingly, and Devon hated it. She felt vulnerable and exposed. She didn't know whether she hated Christian or still cared for him, and Kira witnessing the caring side made her feel uneasy. "Right, so where were we? Devon, you were telling us about your boss's weird relationship with his wife." Christian brought the wine over and took a spot on the floor between Devon and Kira. Devon tried not to pay attention to how good he smelled. He had worn cologne to the office and had managed to make it last to the end of the day. "Devon?" Beth waved a hand in front of her eyes. Sorry, yes, my boss. It's honestly not that riveting. He's just got this weird dynamic with his wife, Christine. She's super nice to me, almost too nice, but I can't tell if I'm reading too much into it. I'm not really used to people being nice to me, especially after the fire, so I could just be making a mountain out of a molehill, but Mr. Ingram is nice. Aloof, but nice. Christian dropped his fork onto his plate. "Shit, sorry. Sorry, it slipped right out of my hand." Kira handed him a napkin, and the topic switched to Kira's not-so-secret relationship with the new guy, whose name she conveniently would not share. Kira had conveniently forgotten to mention that she had been cheating on her 6 years of boyfriend and had ceremoniously dumped him no less than 3 months ago. "It's too new. We're just exploring what could happen, you know." Devon tucked that piece of information away for later. She would debrief with Christian, and oddly, she was looking forward to it. A half hour later, Christian pleaded his goodbyes, leaving the girls to overanalyze everything about his life and Devon's cohabitation with him. "What's it been like? I mean, my God, you could cut the sexual tension with a knife." Kira was on her third glass of wine, but then again, so was everyone else. Devin loved the warm sensation that red wine and Chinese food gave her. It felt like in the room, secrets could be shared and kept at the same time. It's honestly been good, but I swear there's no sexual attention to speak of. He's not interested in me like that. But you're interested in him? Beth had curled up at the end of the couch, looking like she wanted Devin to tell her a bedtime story. I'm not interested in him, but we have history, and from my recollection, it never worked out. But it never worked out because you were always with someone else, Beth cried. That's not true. Devin sipped her wine. She couldn't have always been with someone else, could she? Yes, it is. There was Nev, first of all, that bastard. Then there was the guy senior year who at this point is irrelevant. And then there's, what's his name? Beth looked at Kira for a reference. Oh my God, yes. He lived near you or near Christian when you guys first moved to New York? How do you guys even remember this stuff? It's been years. I just remember seeing you out at a party in the East Village and you left early to go see him and Christian was crushed. Yes. The party at the arcade for someone's birthday. Christian only came to see you and you ended up leaving early. Beth was sitting straight up on the couch now, her enthusiasm getting the best of her. And then he got sad drunk and Joe had to put him in a cab home. Devin had never heard any of this. What do you mean, sad drunk? Kira jumped in to clarify. She means that after you left, Christian sat in a corner, not really talking to anyone, but drinking beers by himself, and when Joe went up to ask what was up, he said something along the lines of, "It's never the right time." What? Devin was floored. How did I not know this? How did you not know that Christian had a huge crush on you? Kira took a sip of her drink. Come on, Devin. He's followed you around like a puppy abroad, and then you broke his heart a few times, if we're being honest. But he must have had other girlfriends. He had to have dated other women. Beth chimed in. He did. There were a few flings, and then there was Kara. She lasted about 6 months, but he broke up with her right around the time that you ended things with, what was his name? The guy from the East Village. James, Jeffrey, Jack. Jack. Yes, that's right. He ended things with Kara after you broke up with Jack at your birthday party. Beth was happy to have gotten the memory sorted out. My 23rd? Devin cringed at the memory. But none of you were at that party. How would you even know about it? Through Joe. He said that he was there and witnessed the breakup. He told Christian, and before you know it, he's single, and then once again, you weren't. Kira looked pleased at having put the puzzle pieces together. Kira, genuine question. How do you know so much about parties that you weren't at? How much has Joe told you? Kira flushed under the direct questions. Just a bit here and there. And how long have you and Joe been dating? Devin didn't care if she was being too direct. She had been overloaded with information she never had before. We're not. Come on, Kira. Cat's out of the bag. Beth took a gulp of her wine and Devin couldn't tell if she was upset or exhausted. Fine. We've been dating, or I guess, in a situationship for the better part of a year. Yes, I was cheating on my ex and I really do not want to get into it, but he won't call me his girlfriend, and so I'm in this stupid relationship hell where I have to decide if I'm going to break up with him or not, and I really do not want to talk about it. Kira burst into tears and suddenly Devin felt horrible. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you upset. Devin handed her a napkin. You didn't. I swear it's not you. I've been wanting to tell anyone about this, but he makes it seem like what we're doing isn't real. So I've kept my mouth shut. But he tells me things about his life, shares stories, even goes so far as to tell me about other people's lives, like yours, and you would think that's boyfriend-girlfriend behavior. But he says we're just friends who happen to sleep together. What a dick, Beth whispered loudly. Beth! Kira shot her a dirty look. What? I'm sorry, Kira, but he is a dick. We've known Joe for years at this point, and he has always been and will always be a selfish human being. You deserve someone so much better than him. We all deserve someone better than him. Devin hoped Kira hadn't picked up on Beth's specific word choice, but no such luck. What do you mean, we? Kira's eyes narrowed into slits and Devin chugged from her glass. This could not be happening. I mean, Beth's word trembled out, but became stronger as she continued. We, all three of us, has had some version of a relationship with Joe, and frankly, I think it's time that it's out in the open. Devin's jaw dropped, not because Beth had spoken the truth, but because she wasn't aware Beth and Joe had ever been a thing. What are you talking about? Kira looked bewildered, back and forth between the two women. There was a long pause, and Devin spoke up, trying to spare Beth shouldering this entire conversation on her own. I had this thing with Joe when we were abroad. That's why Christian and I didn't work out the first time. What type of thing? We hooked up one night when we were on some trip, and we mutually agreed to never tell Christian, and then Christian's dad died, and I honestly forgot all about it. Devin conveniently left out the part about her and Joe sleeping together for a bit. Okay, and now what about you? Kira swiveled her attention to Beth, who looked calm in the state of the chaos. Joe and I were a thing for 6 months senior year. He'd come over to our place when you were at your Monday night seminar. We kept it going for about a semester and a half, but then he got bored of me and moved on to Chelsea something or other. You guys were hooking up in our house? Kira looked enraged, and Devin wondered if she should move the glassware out of the way. Yep. In the beginning, we went out on a date, maybe 2, and then it became clear that all he wanted was sex. Plus, I was getting over Andy, so I never wanted anything else from him anyway, and you were dating that guy from your bio class, so I thought it was okay. But this asshole was sleeping around and not being safe. He gave me chlamydia, and when I confronted him about it, he told me that I was crazy, jealous, and controlling. And I almost believed him. He gaslighted me so badly that I almost thought that I was the one who had caught it and given it to him. Can you believe that? Oh my God, Beth, I am so sorry. That's horrible. Devin tried to reach across the couch to comfort her, but Beth curled up smaller than ever. I spent weeks feeling horrible about myself, like I had somehow caused this to happen by flirting with other guys or some other crop of stupid shit that he had told me caused it. And then I was at health services refilling the antibiotic prescription when in walks Chelsea, picking up the same damn thing. I followed her outside, and there was Joe, wrapping an arm around her, telling it would be okay, even though he was the one who was spreading it around. Holy shit, that's horrifying. The words escaped from Devin's lips, and she meant it. This was despicable behavior. Why didn't you say anything when I started seeing him? Kira's tone was accusatory. Because I didn't know for sure that you were dating him. Plus, I imagine after so many years, I hoped he had cleared up his STD problem. But people like Joe always show their true colors, and I figured it was only a matter of time before you caught on. I feel so stupid. Kira buried her head in her hands, and Devin and Beth both looked at each other, unsure of what to do. On one hand, they should comfort Kira, but on the other, it felt like she was mad at them for her choice of partner. It's okay. It's going to be okay. It's been years, Kira. He might have changed. Devin tried her best, and Beth rolled her eyes. No, he hasn't. He hasn't changed at all. Beth, I can't believe he did that to you. And Devin, he knew Christian was into you. To go behind his best friend's back to hook up with you before he did is disgusting. He's a horrible human. You know, I once found a girl's hairbrush in his bathroom, and he told me it was his sister's. He doesn't have a sister, and he doesn't have long dark hair. I am such a freaking idiot. Kira wailed into her hands, and suddenly all 3 women were on the floor. It's okay, Kira. He's an asshole, and you deserve better. Beth stroked the back of her hair, trying to be comforting. I can have Christian kill him if that would make you feel better, Devin offered, trying to make light of the situation. Oh, God. Christian, I wonder if he knows. You can't tell him, Dev. You cannot tell him that his best friend is horrible. Kira, he probably already knows. When Joe's name comes up, he always acts super weird, so it wouldn't surprise me if he knew he was doing shady shit. Really? Kira wiped under her eyes, trying in vain to get rid of the mascara streaks from her tears. Really? I don't need to give him all the details, but I can certainly ask how he feels about Joe in general. It might give us some clarity as to what he's been up to. I'll think about it, but don't do anything right now. I'm going to break up with him right now in person. That asshole told me he couldn't hang out tonight because he's with his mom, but I bet you there's a girl over there, and I'm going to find out. Where's my jacket? Kira stood up somewhat wobbly, but with the spirit of vindication. I'm coming with you. Beth was right behind her. I can't wait to see his face when you ruin his life. Are you guys sure this is a good idea? Devin was skeptical that this plan could be executed well in their current situations. Absolutely. He treated my best friend like shit and fucked me over, and he's done. As far as I'm concerned, he is no longer a part of our lives. Devin watched as they grabbed their purses and jackets and hustled out the front door with conviction. She stared back at the now silent living room, trying to make sense of everything she had just learned. And the only thing she knew for sure was that she needed to talk to Christian.